Howdy people! Hi! It's Randy for Thunderhorse Descendant. I am here today with bargain bead box doings. We have been on morning coffee and we have been making designs. We have had, I think we made like 3 designs, and so we're going to start our first project with bargain bead box. Let's get to making. Alright guys, here we are on my mat. I've gotten it all ready because I don't want this video to be a billion years long. So I'm just going to run through what I have. Now please note that I have not used any of my bargain bead box items besides, in the first little video I made this little tiny pair of earrings. It has like 2 beads and 2 amethyst on there. Other than that, I haven't used any of my stuff. So this is all full strands. And the reason I say that, if you are new here, one of the challenges that I put forth for my own self is to try to use everything in the box. And I do that, and you know, as you move through the box, you are gonna, you know, be limited. Oh, sorry. You're gonna be limited to items. So right now I have everything that we need here. I have the purple shell beads, the quartz strand, the bronze spacers with a clasp. Now I had mentioned when we originally made this design on Morning Coffee Talk that I was not really wanting to use that, but that is part of the box, and so that is what we're going to use. I have bead caps, these little connectors, which I only plan to use 2, but I thought maybe if we have time to make earrings, I'll whip up some matchy earrings. A whole strand of pearls, and the pendant. Now this other stuff down here is the Big Mama. I call this the Big Mama metal punch. I have amethyst colored patina paint and rose gold colored patina paint and my palette, and I'm going to dry brush. So that's what we got going on the mat. I do want to show you the little design that we came up with on Morning Coffee Talk. This is what it looks like. I have not made this before. We had just looked at the beads and we thought, well, this is what we'll do. So the idea here is that it's going to be a one-sided kind of focal necklace. So all of the fun is going to be happening on this side, and this is going to be a white strand of pearls. Our pendant is going to be here. We're going to have to do some double punches because I do want to hang a pearl. Still trying to stay in the theme of the box, which was a vintage. And I feel like back in the day, we kind of had this one pearl, you know what I'm saying? So this is the idea, and let's see if it works out. Here we go. First things first, we're going to do our hole punching. I got Big Mama here. In there, I have a 3mm hole bit. So if you're looking for this, this can be found. I got mine at, I believe it was Michael's, just at the craft store. So that's where I got mine. And I never looked for them elsewhere. So, you know, I was going to have a pin. Let's see. Well, I can't find my pen. I was going to mark it out for you guys. But basically, what I'm going to do here, this is very, you know, easy peasy design because your first hole is here. Obviously, this is the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch. Let me get my pliers so you can see. You see this little space right here? So you got this little design. I'm going to punch right on the edge of this little flower, like in this little space on both sides. And we're going to make the double punch. I'm going to move this water out of the way because you know I like to be spilly. Here we go. If this scares you and you want to measure it and do all that business and you're not sure if it's going to work, and neither am I, just look away. Okay, so you are going to get bumped during this process. Sorry. So I'm just eyeballing it here, kind of pushing it down to see, make sure I'm in the right spot. And it looks good. Oh, I moved it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Sometimes you gotta use 2 hands. Woo! There's one. Oh, there's the little metal bit that went through. I'm just kind of turning it just to make sure that's through there and pull it out. There we go. You might want to put your safety goggles on for this. Okay, there she is. Right in that space where, right here. Okay, now on the back, we are going to have to do a little filing because you can see there's a little bit of business going on there. So we'll do that. Now we're going to go ahead and do the other side. I hear Jakey toes. Hey, Jaker. Did you hear me talking? Jaker's my hound dog. So I'm just lining it up. Make sure it looks good there. Yeah. Looks pretty good. Now I will say you want to be careful that you're not biting through the edge right here. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. Let me get this one through there. Since I got it lined up. Here we go. Woo! Sorry, I had to get some body weight on that one. Okay, so again, just spin it. And there we go. All right, Big Mama's done. Here we go. Yeah, looks pretty good. So what I was talking about right here, I'll show you. You want to make sure you're not getting too close to the edge. Let's see. I was a little more cautious on the second one, but I mean, it'll be fine. This one's like maybe a millimeter closer than the other one. Maybe not even a millimeter, like half a millimeter, but nobody's going to notice that. So there is our pendant. We're going to do a little filing. Now, I use this little set of files that I got out at Taylor's Falls Bead Store. It looks like this. It's from Beadsmith. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to file these down. And I'm just going to go like this. We're going to do some patina painting here, so I'm not concerned about this. This can take a little while, so I might fast forward, but I just want to show you that how I'm doing this. I'm just using the flat edge, and I'm just literally filing. That's it. To do is when we get that patina paint out and we do the front, you could hit a little on the back, and that might also maybe cover up some of those if you do have a few little pokey edges or something. So, but that's looking pretty good. All right, y'all, on to the next. So there she is. Now we got 3 holes. Okay, now we move on to patina painting. Like I said, I have rose gold and I have amethyst. You could use any color you wanted. Just going to give those a little shake. I've already pre-shook them, but I'm just making sure I got a little, you know, something going on there. There we go. So now I got a little purple. I kind of wanted to just give it a little, not a whole lot of purple. Like I don't want to paint the whole thing. I more so wanted to go just kind of give it a dry brush with the metallic here. And trust me, that purple that I put out, way too much. Way too much. But here we go. I'm going to get myself a little Kleenex. And I'm going to get myself a little piece of paper. So I don't mess up my bead mat. Put that on there. And I'm going to go first in with this. I'm kind of just barely putting a little purple in there, mixing colors around here to see what we can get. Okay, and then I'm going to dab over here a little bit. The thing about this patina paint is you don't want to... Oh, you guys probably can't even see what I'm doing. You don't want to, you want to go light. You can always add more, you know? So I'm going to do like this. Now, I'm going to kind of go on this little pattern they have here that's raised up. Because it's already there, might as well utilize it. And if you don't get right up on the line, it's fine. Because this is supposed to be, you know, a vintagey type piece. If you feel like you got too much paint, just dab it off on your paper. Because like I said, we can always do more. And then this one. Oh, yeah. You could do the whole thing, too, if you wanted to. It's completely up to you. Whatever you want to do. Now, get my paint here. And I'm just very lightly with the hand. Very lightly. You don't want to go too much. I mean, you can, because you can always, you know, buff it off or leaf it off or whatever. But I just, you know, light. Just go light. And if you need to add more, then all right. So there we go. So we got. And now I'm going to get a little more of that rose gold, and I'm going to go in on the other kind of pieces. So let me get a little of that out here. So here's my, this little smidge, that's all I need. This stuff dries fast. If you are not familiar with patina paints, this is paint for metal. Okay, you can use it on other things, but it's for metal, so it's safe. And now I'm just gonna just you guys see where I'm at? Here we go. So I'm just gonna kind of go a little different color right in the middle here, and I'm not using any water, no water at all. And this stuff is dry. Like the purple that we just put on there is already dry. That's how quick this is, okay? Now, if you wanted to glaze this, you could. They have a glaze. You don't have to use the glaze. You do what you want. I don't use it, usually. And that's just personal preference because, you know, unless you're wearing this in water and like doing a whole bunch of things, you're pretty much going to be golden anyway. So, I mean, this stuff is pretty spectacular stuff. Don't worry about it too much. Now, I got a little on my brush. Before it dries, I'm going to quickly just kind of brush over this purple just to give it a little highlight. Okay. I don't know if you can see that versus the just matte. Let's do a little highlight. More so in the middle of the design on here. There I go. So that's looking pretty good. Pretty to my liking. This is a little... Let's do some of that there. So, I'm liking it. This is the top. Like this. Okay. So we will just give it a little minute to dry up. Now, like I was saying on here, if you wanted to, you could go on the back and you could, you know, put a little paint here if you want to. Whatever. You know, whatever you want to make it kind of cohesive. You don't have to. Get the edge a little bit. But if you wanted to really hide this scuffing you made, you could do that. Like so. You know. Up to you, up to you. Okay. So now, the only thing to really note with these, I'm going to zoom you out, is that, see, I just have a designated palette for this, so I don't have to worry about cleaning it or nothing. Now, you do want to rinse your brush with water right away because if you don't, you're going to ruin your brush. This is a brush that I have designated for patina painting. I just wash it out and then I keep kind of these paintbrushes in a different area because it's not like regular, you know, it does, you know, kind of get your brush a little wonky. It's not an expensive brush. I think it came in a pack from the Dollar Tree or something. So it's a craft brush, okay? It's a craft brush. There we go. So now it's just good to go for next time. I'll move this water out of the way because I'm spilly. Put that over there because I don't think we're going to need it. Now, here's the thing. Even if you wanted to also, you could hit these with a little bit of the same, if you wanted. It's up to you. Just lightly glaze over them, give them a little brushing so they all match. But I left that bronze in the middle, and that's why I did that, because I didn't want to take the time to paint my beads. You can if you want to, but I left that bronze, so they're still going to match. Easy peasy. And we should be good to go. She's dry. So I'm going to use Beadalon's stringing wire, and I'm going to use 49 strand. I think you could probably also use 19 for this, but I just thought, well, I don't know how heavy these stones and things are going to be. So for the purpose of this, I'm just going to use the 49, just in case. So what I want to make here is about a 18-inch necklace. I'm just thinking, do I want to make 18? Do I want to make 20? I'll probably make 18. So I'm going to pull out some beading wire here. And where is my cutter? Here it is. So I got a little more than 18 inches because I'm going to drop things. Because I'm going to need some for crimping and all of that, So, what's going on here? Get this out of the way. May as well just cut this second one since it's all strung all over my floor. There we go. Alright. So now, here was my idea. Now, I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to start with the pendant. I'm going to take one of my, let me get this out of the way. I'm going to take one of my beading wires here. And what I want to do is I want to use these little crystals. And I'm going to put a couple on. I don't know if they're going to go through there. We're going to find out. So I'm going to put, I'm going to put 6 of these on to start out with, or 3 on this side. And I don't know if they're going to go through there, so we're going to try it. Do they go through? Kind of. Okay, so I'm going to put 3 on, and then the pendant, and then 3 on the back side. And I think that should be enough. So I got this. 3, pendant 3. And I am up here, and I got these 2. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to see how that looks there. So it's not, the wire, you can see the wire is holding the pendant, because these are crystal and this is metal, so there's always a possibility of breakage with that. Oh, did one of my beads fall off? It sure did. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put 3 on there. I'm going to get my crimp beads out here. Stay there. I'm going to get my crimp beads. We're using bronze today. So I'm going to get my bronze crimp beads over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my crimp bead and put it on the short end. I'm also going to put it on the long end and put that through there. Okay, and I'm going to pull the long end. So it's down there. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on another one. I'm going to put 2 on here. keep pulling that tail. I don't want that much tail. There we go. Okay. So now this is what I got. I guess that one did go through there. You little stinker. I'm going to squeeze it. Okay, so what I've done is I've squeezed it, so it kind of made a mark in the wire. And I got 2 crimp beads on there. I'm going to crimp. Not the first one, the second one. So I'm just going to get in there, make sure everything is pulled down where I want it, and crimp. Spin it. Well, get it crimped. Pull test. Looks pretty good. I am going to use a bead cover on there. A bronze bead cover. You don't have to use a bead cover if you don't want to. Up to you, but I do have some just sitting here, so I'm going to use them. And I'm going to take my bead cover and I'm going to cover up that one that we crimped. Bam. Easy peasy. So that's what we got. Now it looks like these crystals are going to go through the hole that we made. I'm not really concerned about it. I just want kind of 3 in the front and 3 in the back, but it is a loop, so I'm hoping that the weight of the pendant will kind of even that out, you know. So that's what we got. Okay. And now, put these little crystals aside. Oh. And now on to the fun part. So I am going to do the fun side first. I'm just going to give this a little trim here, because we are ready to do some stringing. So, according to my little design I have going on here, this was not like set in stone or anything, but I'm going to do some spacers, some beads, and then I'm going to do these 2, which I'm going to hook back to back with an oval jump ring. So, let's just get that portion. Maybe get that portion ready to go. And oval jump ring. So this is a 6mm oval jump ring that I am using. And if you need some of those, I have all the oval jump rings stocked up on my website. And that is going to flash across your screen here, hopefully. If it doesn't, it's www.thunderhorse-descendant.com. And so, here's what I want to do. I'm going to hook them like this. So, yeah. So, I will put them together. So they're the same, if you guys can see. Pointy end down. Okay. And then I will just close them up with my oval jump ring. Make sure that's nice and good. Now we kind of have a little component. You could also hit this with the patina paint if you wanted. So, you guys, I'm just realizing that I didn't need this much wire because I forgot about this part. But whatever. We'll just use the other half for the other side of the necklace. No big deal. So let's get our beads in here. Beads. Now, I'm not putting any pearls on this side. Okay, not putting pearls on this side. I'm going to zoom you a little bit. I'm going to start out with a spacer. Get this out of the way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do about 3.5 inches, maybe 3 three and a half inches of beading here, because I want this little guy right here to kind of be, you know, situated kind of close down by the pendant. So I am going to use these bead covers, and I want to see, I really liked how they looked with the earrings that we made the other day. So I know they look nice with that. Oh yeah, that's cute. And then I think I will just put a quartz on. Bum, bum. And then maybe I will put a quartz with the bead caps. Okay. So, actually, we got about, it's about 2 inches of beading. About 2 inches of beading there. And I'm already ready to put that portion on. No problem. What we'll do is we'll just take that off of there. We will switch these two around because I know I can get into that one. So I'll just switch this one around. No problems, no worries. Okay. So, crimp bead, and then our little doodad here. It doesn't look like either side is going to matter, like which side you put it on. So then I'm going to run back through the crimp bead and through this metal spacer bead. Okay, and so I'm just tugging on that. And then we are going to crimp. There's gonna be a lot. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of crimping in this video. Tell you that much. So I'm gonna crimp. And yeah, looks good. Do the pull test. Make sure he's crimped up nice. Spin around on me. All right, I am going to use a bead cover because that spacer bead I used, it did have a larger hole. So I don't want my little crimped up bead there going through it. So I'm going to stick a bead cover on there. Okay, no problem. Let's just stick that on there. Now, before we do that, we got to give this a trim. So what I do before I put the bead cover is I trim, and then I put the bead cover because the bead cover kind of eats up like a millimeter of space, or sometimes 2 millimeters of space. And so when I put this on there, it's going to pull that tail up into that first bead. And I'm going to commit to the crimp. Get him on there, get him situated. All right. Oh, you little tail, what are you doing over here? You're supposed to be in the bead. Get in there. Get in there, I said. All right. I just got to tell his boss. Okay. There we go. So, here we are. And I got my little tape measure. And we are about 5 inches into our 18-inch necklace. So we got 4 more inches of beading to do. This is going to bend out when you put it on. So I am going to put on a quartz bead just to be safe, because it's going to curve and that's going to take away some of its length. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my crimp bead. Let me see. Do I have a wire guardian over here? As an example? Yeah, I do. Okay. So we'll use the wire guardian, and the reason I say that is because that is metal, this is wire, and eventually with all that friction from the wearing and the, you know, the action it's going to get, it is going to rub on there. You don't want to have yourself a situation. So this is the wire guardian. I call it a horseshoe. And I'm going to go in through the bottom on one side. Just like that. And I am going to go on to the other side. Okay. And then pull that like that. Now, before I do anything else, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my short wire here and I'm going to put it into these two holes in the clasp. Okay. And I'm going to bring it down. You're going to do a little maneuver in here, but it's pretty easy. You just make sure that your wire and your wire guardian is placed right there. You're going to give it a little pull. Now, you don't want to pull it too fast, because if you do, you're going to curl your wire up and then you're going to end up in a problem. So, yeah. Go through the crimp bead, go through these two beads, pull that tail down, and this is what we should have. Make sure there's no stuff hanging out the edge there. And then now here's where we're gonna, you know, tighten everything up and go in with our crimping. I am gonna use a bead cover on here, so you don't want it to be too tight that the beads can't move, but you don't want it to be too loose either. So, make sure your wires are not crossed. Give it a squish. Spin it, squish it in. Make sure it looks good. It does. And pull test. Okay. And then we're going to trim. And then I'm going to put on a bead cover. So when we go in with the bead cover, I'm just going to go right here, commit to the bead cover, get him on there, get him looking nice. All right, and we have one side completed. So let me zoom you out to get the full effect. And this is what we got. There we go. Okay. And now we're going to do the pearl side. Okay, I'm just kind of trying to get everything in there for you. There we go. So now we'll do the pearl side. Now the pearl side is going to start here. I'm going to start it the same way with the crystals. So I'm going to do that and then I'll pop back on. Alright guys, so what I've done is I've just started this one the same way as the other. 3 beads, then the pendant, 3 beads, put on 2 crimp beads, crimped the last one, and a bead cover so that they're both looking like this, which I think is going to be pretty cute. So now we're going to just move up this other side, and this is going to be really easy because all we're going to do is we're going to put on all of these pearls. All right, guys. So now I am going to crimp this. Now let me tell you, I got up here, I had beads on. I had to take some beads off because I crimped, and my crimp situation did not go well. So I couldn't get it back. I couldn't get my string back through the pearl, which was the problem. So what I've decided to do is I've taken off 2 pearls, and I'm going to put on 3 little crystals. The same crystals that we started with. Now, if you didn't want to do this, what you could do is you could go ahead and get your bead reamer out, bead ream one of your pearl holes so that it'll fit back through there. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add 3 of these little crystals on, like we had crystals down here, and I'm going to finish it that way. I'm going to put on a crimp bead, and I need a horseshoe. I put on a wire guardian, and I'm going to go back around here. Now, I'm going to have to really get my plier out and make this work out because I got little tiny wire. I have a little tiny wire because I already tried to finish it once and it didn't work. So, sometimes you win, sometimes not. Sometimes you just got to change it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to, my little crimpy bead is trying to come off there. You stay on there, you. Get on there. Okay, and now I'm going to take my little hook, which is the other side, and go onto this little tiny wire and around the horseshoe. Okay. Now, normally you wouldn't have this little tiny wire to work with, but, you know, stuff happens. So, I'm going to pull this out just enough that I can get my crimp bead on there and through some of these crystals. And I can do it, I just got to pull it down here a little bit. So I'm at least through one of the crystals you see there. Okay. No worries, no worries, no rules. Sometimes you just got to change it up a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of get this all straightened the way I want it. I do want a little bit of give, not too much. And I'm going to crimp. And crimp. And twist. And crimp again. And double check everything's good. Full test. Oh yeah. All right. That's looking pretty good. And now I need a bead cover. I'm going to go ahead and put the bead cover on. to protect my little crimp there. Make sure he's on there good. All right, pull test. Everything looks good there. Let's zoom out. All right, we're almost at the finish line, you guys. So I'm just going to move this because we don't need that anymore. And so here's what we got. The only thing left to do, I'm just going to show you how this works. The only thing left to do is to put on the pearl droplet. So here's the box clasp. It just goes in here. And then it kind of pushes inside of each other. You push this just a smidge. Okay. And then there's your box clasp. And I'm trying to show you the whole bit here, but it's kind of, there, I gotta raise you up. Yeah. So that's what she looks like. You guys, I really like it. Okay, now lastly, we have just this little droplet to put on, and I picked this bead. And that is going to go right here. So what I'm going to do, I got myself a ball headband. I'll put my pearl on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire wrap straight onto this, because I feel that that kind of fits with the theme. Oh, where my bail making plier is. But anyways, I'm just going to go way up high on my round nose plier where it's wider. And I'm going to give it a little bend like so. And bring it around that kind of wider part of the spin. So that it has a larger hole. So then when I go to put it in here, I just maneuver that around there. Might have to bend it a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab hold of it like that. And then I'm going to take this plier here. I'm just going to spin it up. Like so. I wish I had my other one. You know, things and stuff. So, there we go. Pretty good. So now, I don't want that to end in the front simply because I just don't like that. So I'm going to try to bend it a little more to the back. Yeah, that's good. So come in here and I'm going to give this a cut. And then, ever so slightly, I'm going to bend this in as to try not to hit my pearl. Okay, not scratch it, I mean. So I'm just going to commit to the squish. There she is. You could even do more than one if you wanted, but I'm just going to do one. I think it looks cute. Alrighty. And so this is our finished product. I'm just bending it like that so you guys can see. Pretty snazzy, I think. You guys, I really like it a lot. It's going to be cool when you wear it. Yeah. And it's got the box clasp and the pearls, which is a whole like vintagey theme. I love it. Okay. I was going to try it on, but I have on all this like not great for modeling clothes. So we're going to do this. I will also get you some photos and a little video of the finished project as I normally do for the end of this video. But anyway, for right now, we're just going to put her on there so you can see. That's what she looks like. You guys, I like it a lot. I think it turned out really good. I'm pretty happy with it. With the clasp to the pendant, I've got 18.5. So that's pretty good. with the clasp. But like I said, we added that extra bead so that when it goes out like this, it still is hanging where you want it to hang. So I am very pleased with it. I am very pleased. I will get you some photos and some stuff. I'm so pleased. We might have to make some earrings. I don't know. Maybe those little earrings we made the other day could go with this. But anyways, there you go. A one-sided focal necklace. Spectacular. Thank you guys for showing up, hanging in there. I hope you have a wonderful, spectacular day. Before you go, please give this video a like, a thumbs up, a comment. If you do make this, please feel free to come on over to Thunderhorse Descendant group page and show your photos. That would be wonderful. Everybody is welcome and invited. And we'll see you next time. Bye.